Hello and welcome to this session. In this, I will be sharing a very important function or a very important topic of Visual Basic for application. It's variables. Variable is the integral part. You can say it's the engine of the VBA. Lot depends on the variables. If you know the variables, then it's good for you. It makes your life easier because we will be using a lot of variables moving ahead in my future videos. So if I talk about the definition of variable, so it's a named storage location that can contain data that can be modified during a program execution. Each variable has a name that uniquely identifies it within its scope. So not going with the definition, this is my explanation of variable is that variable is just a name given to a storage location in the memory of a computer to store the variable. And the space allocated to that variable depends on the data type it holds. For example, if you're booking a ticket in a train, so if you are traveling three people, then you book a three seats. If you're traveling five people, then you book five tickets or five seats. Same goes with the aeroplane tickets and bus tickets. For, so same is for variable. Variable is a name. If I talk, this is my um, my computer memory. So I'm allocating this to this memory, or I'm reserving this memory for my variable. So for this, I'm I'll, I'm reserving this space for my variable. Okay. So you can now moving ahead. The next thing would be that how we can name a variable. So there are a few examples, few rules set for a variable that it must be less than 250 characters. It's a name, like my name is Aman or my name is Robert. It's just a name, variable are names. For example, there can be multiple people in the world with name as Aman. So same goes with variable as well. The, there are certain rules. The rules are that the name of the variable can't be more than 255 characters. Okay. No space is allowed within a name. So if I write a variable name as my bot, this is not allowed. Okay, it can be written as my bot. This is allowed. No space allowed in middle of any variable like my bot or your name. It's not allowed, and it must begin with a it must not begin with a number. You cannot start any variable name from number. It should always start with a alphabet. You cannot write 1 2 3 your name. This is incorrect. Okay, so the next one is you periods is not permitted. So you cannot write like this 12/12/2022. This is not allowed. This is not a variable. Okay, also special characters are not allowed in variable in writing, like hash my name. This is not allowed. Okay, so these are the rules to name a variable. Now, coming to these few examples I have listed here, these are the valid names which we use to name a variable, like my underscore car, this year, long underscore name underscore can underscore be use, or Google group 88. This can be used. These are valid variable names. So you cannot use this type of names. For example, in this, there's a dot and a space. And this example, it starts with a number. And this, you are using ampersand, or you can say and. This is not allowed. And this is student a space ID. This is not allowed because there is a space and it's against the rule. So this was the first part of the variables, what it is, what are the rules to name a variable, and what are the examples how you can name a variable. So just to conclude this first topic, it's just a name. Variable is a name which is used to allocate a memory. Our memory is allocated in the computer of and then that space or that area is named, and that name is called variable. Okay, so let's move to the next step, and then we will be seeing what is the data type, because the space allocated in the computer is defined or is identified by the data type. If how much space a computer should align for to the variable, it depends on the data type. So let's move ahead and see the next topic, that is data types. Now coming to the data type, whenever you declare any variable, it's always associated with any kind of data type. Oh, sorry, some kind of data type. So data type lets the computer know that okay, the variable is of which kind. Is it number, integer, date, or range? So there are a few data types. First one is your string. If you want to store any alphanumeric or alphabet or a name or a sentence, then you have to use string. If you want to store any number, then you have to use integers. And if you want to store any object, then you have to use the object as the data type. And coming to the variant, it's the most important one, the variant. If you're not sure of any which type of data the variable is going to store, whether it's number, alphabet, or object, then you have to define the data type as variant. If you define the data type as a variant, then what computer will do is it will allocate maximum memory to the variable as permitted to the variables. Maximum limit will be given to the this variable if variant is used as a data type. Then comes date, and if you are using variable to store any date, then you can use as a date. And there are many other as Boolean, um, and long, very long, and this. Now there are a few examples here I have shown that what the data types and storage, how much space they use. Okay, and how much long characters you can write in them. If you are using a string, fixed length or a variable length. Also, while declaring, I will show you that when you declare a variable, you can fix its width or dimension. And if you don't fixed, then what will happen? And so, so you can see if you declare any uh, variable as date, then it will then the computer will allocate 8 bytes of of space for it. And you can see the range is from 1st January 100 to December 31st. Okay, and then Boolean 2 bytes will be aligned, and it can only store true and false will be the outcome. If okay, uh, for example, if you are using any variable as a Boolean and you are entering something else which is not true or false, then it will show an error. So that's more important to remember. And there are others as well. You can go through this. So basically the first one is of numeric kind of, sorry, it's a string kind of, and this one is of numbers. The left one is of strings, non-numeric, I should say, and this one is of numeric, bytes, integer, long, single, double, currency, decimal, and so on. And then coming to the how you can declare a variable is it always starts with dim, and then the variable name, and then we use a keyword as and then data type. For example, if I'm using password as the name, then if I want to store it name or alpha number, then I have to use a string. And dim, if I'm using a name, then also I can use if I'm first num then integer. And these are the few examples. I hope this data type topic is clear, and let's move ahead and see the next one. Now coming to the using the variables in a module or in a procedure. So let's go with an example. First, let's create the procedure. My one is ABC, and I will create some space. And now what I will do is declare the variable. That is, as you know, we start with dim and then the name of the variable. So I will write it as your name as string. String I'm taking because name always is with alphabets, so I'm taking with string. And then I will declare move1 dim age as integer. So as you know, age comes with integer 1 to 10, 15 years of age, 20 years. So numbers will always be integers. Okay. So again, we can write dim as you can put it. Let's go with this too. And now, when you declare this, so as earlier previously I shared an example with you that the computer or the system allocates some memory on as per the data type. Okay, so but you want to contain that. For example, I know my name will only hold 10 alphabets. So what I can do, I can put asterisk and 10. It will only allocate 10 bytes, means 10 alphabets you can only store there. You know, only the age will be in one digit or into two digits. So what I can do, I just put it here 2. The maximum memory will be the 2. Okay, so this is how you can allocate. So this was just an example. Yeah, so I think it's not available in the integer form, but surely in the string it is available. Okay, so this is how you can do. These are the two ways. Now we will see the use of this. So I have few names here. For example, there are two ways you must be knowing: ByVal and ByRef. You must be knowing. So what it is, ByVal and ByRef. Okay, so what is this ByVal? ByVal means referring directly to the value. Okay, directly. For example, if I declare that your name equals to range, your name equals to okay, sorry, name equals to Aman. I just write it here. Okay, so this is ByVal. I'm directly giving the value. Okay, and now, okay, any change, if I use this your name variable anywhere, and if there is certain change during on this variable, then the name Aman will never change. Okay, it will always be fixed. In other terms, it's also called hard coded. Okay, so whenever if this your name variable goes through a logic, then the name Aman will not change. It will be always be there. But that's not the case in ByRef. When you give a ByRef is giving a reference of any cell or any address. So what I can do, your name, let's take it, let's make one more variable, dim your name one as string. Okay, and here you will write is your name one equals to, this will be reference wise, I'm referring to a particular cell, for example B2. So what I will do is B2 dot value. Okay, so this is by ref, means by reference, it will give the reference of a particular cell. Okay, in this you are passing the address of the cell, value of the cell. Okay, and this you are just passing on the value, not giving any address. If there is a change in logic of this, for example, if there is some function and logic applied and it says that range be if it says that Rohit equals to your name one, sorry, if it says, for example, if there's a logic applied and if the value of this is changed and it's printed over there, then it can be changed. I'm just thinking of an example how to show this is, for example, for if I change range B2 dot value equals to Aman. Okay, so in this case what happens, B2 value gets changed, so does the value of your name will change because it's referring to B2. You can see, if in procedure, if I print there Aman here, initially it will hold Lawrence, but when I print this, then it will automatically get changed. So this is called ByRef and ByVal. There are two ways to hold a variable, can hold a any data for you. Now this is done. Let's check the application. Let's of this real application of this. Now how we can do is you can also write here as your name equals to input box. You must be knowing input box, which accepts any data provided to it, holds any data for you, and like write your name. Okay, and you can just give title as name. Okay, and default, that's it. Let's keep this much. Okay, so yeah, your name, and you can also write, or you can just your name one equals to, I showed you here B2. This is already done example. How you can refer to this. Let us uncomment this. Yeah, so this is the one way. It directly gets the data holds, it can hold the data from the sheet, or you can just provide your data from here. Okay, this is another way. And yeah, these are the two ways of storing the data, getting the data. And now how you can use that data held by the variable to to print that data on the sheet is, for example, if I want to print the data here in G1 and G2 and H2, if I highlight this two, here I want to print the data, both data, then what I can do is range G1 dot value equals to your name one. Same I can do is your h1 dot value equals to your name. Okay, so let's try this and see if it's working or not. And I'm going to type my name as Aman, and yeah, so just I instead of two, I just wrote here one, so no worries. The more important is that our data is getting printed, whatever we have added here in the variable. So this is how it works. It will store your data, and um, it will print the data for you. Variable is we will study and we will know more about the variable in the upcoming videos, where I will be extensively using the variable. One last topic, and these variables are uh, is optional explicit. On the top, optional explicit is one of the functions of the VBA, which which enforces the coder or the developer to declare the variable. We have declared the variable here. To declare the variable before its use, we are using the variables here. Okay, optional explicit will it will do, it will force the coder or the developer to declare the variables before of use. If even if I don't, if I if I don't use comment out this, or if it's not there, then also this will work. Okay, then also it will work. You can see it's working. If I write my name Mohan and try to print, you can see it's working fine. Okay, so so there will be a question, then why we should declare a variable, or why there should be an optional explicit. The answer to it is this is one of the best optional explicit we use. It's because it's one of the best practices to use optional explicit, because this is a small code. Okay, and mm, you might use the same variable multiple times. So optional explicit helps you uh, not to duplicate those variables. For example, for your name, accidentally if you use your name variable twice or thrice for different things. So this, just to stop this, optional explicit is used. And and to declare the variable here is to let the system know that what needs to be done. If you don't declare any variable, then system will by default allocate as consider these variables as variant. And as I had said earlier, variants get the maximum memory allocation. Okay, so if it gets the maximum memory allocation, then your code may work slow. If it's a very lengthy code, 2-3 pages code, and it's doing multiple things, then significantly it will slow down your code. If a procedure should function for 5 seconds, then it will start functioning 20 seconds or 30 seconds. It will take time to give the output. So now important question is how to get this optional explicit. We can get the optional explicit by we can get the optional explicit by going to the tools, then options, and here you can see a required variable declaration. You can see if you check this, it's already checked here, and if I check here, then it will automatically put optional explicit on the top of every module. Okay, when you open a new module, currently it will not add here because it's already in use. So if I do okay, and if I try to insert module, you can see optional explicit is coming automatically. Okay, so this is all about variables, uh, that what is variable, how it is defined, how we use the variables, and what is ByRef, ByVal, what is optional explicit. Okay, so hope whatever I covered here is clear. And for the extensive, as I said, for the extensive use of variables, I will be using variable more in the coming videos so that you will have more examples. Hope you like this video. Do comment and share your feedback or advice. Thank you.